So to continue with this bottom section, we can sort of look at our bottom view here. Do a sketch on this plane. Oh, that's probably not the plane I want to be on. That's better. Let's do something similar where we just follow this contour. It's hard to see where that point is. There you go. Horizontal. This one horizontal. Honestly, already looks good enough to me. Yep. From here, if we're lucky enough, we can just do a, let's see, we can try doing a boundary surface from here to there. Yep. So if you wanted to control sort of the transition between here and here, we could have added some more control lines, but also within boundary surface, you could add a direction vector of, what's a good one? There isn't really a vector here. Let's see. Yeah, we could do a bit more control here of the curvature of that transition with respect to the normal of that profile. So let's, if I go a bit more, can't really see it because this is, there you go. Maybe one was too high to begin with. 0.5. And if I do something like 45 degrees, you can see it bulging out more because with respect to the normal of the profile, it bulges out more towards 45 degrees. Stuff like this, boundary surface lets you edit and have more control over. And for example, if we had these guide-like curves from the first surface that we did, we can also, it allows some bit more control in this second direction. So the second direction being, okay, so the first direction would be this closed surface to this closed surface, right? And then the second direction is sort of how it wraps from this guide curve about the direction of my cursor here, right? Now I'm going to do the bottom where, honestly, I could just do a filled surface here. Maybe not the best case for this, but it works just fine because I know I just have a simple surface to fill. I don't need the bottom anymore, so I'm going to hide that. Looks good. And now also the bottom had sort of a concave feature that goes into itself. So what we can do for that is do an offset surface of, I don't know, let's say it's 2 millimeters. So it's offsetting towards the inside. If I were to reverse it, you can see the opposite direction, but we actually wanted to offset toward it inside of itself. I could do a sketch on this face where I offset this to the reverse. That looks good enough. And do a split line that projects onto this face. Cool. And then now on my front, I can do a sketch that converts this first. Just want it for construction to get this edge. Exit sketch. And I could do a swept surface about here. I could definitely make that intersect better with this curve. So what I'll do actually is go back to the top plane, or even go back, delete this, go back to this sketch, or sorry, not the sketch, what was it? This sketch, the split line sketch. Just put this as reference. Exit. I'll delete the previous one that I had for reference and mark this and this coincident, and that should be better. And from here I could go back to that sweep. There you go. And now I could do trim surfaces. I want to keep most of these and just trim out the intersection here and this bottom face. Yeah, there you go. So now I should just have, let me remove these pictures just for a second. Yep, now you can see that. Then we bring back these pictures and we can move on to the top section. I'm going to put another reference plane just for the top section based off the top plane and a offset. What would that be? 130? How about 133, 132? We'll say 132. Yeah, we'll say that's good enough. And I'll do a profile on top of there. Just for ease. Here, I'll do a sketch on this new plane now. Sketch. It seems like it might be a good idea just to do it based off these. So offset entities. Oh, that was not the right plane, but that's a good place to show where I could easily change that. So edit sketch plane, I could bring it to the top here. Easy peasy. So now on this right plane, I could add some curves to guide us. Sorry, was it a line or a spline? I meant to do a spline. And one here as well. See if I can get this tangent with that. Nope, doesn't like it. No problem. I'll just go based off visuals. Cool, exit. And we could do another boundary surface. Direction 1, delete. We'll go based off, whoops. Really hard to grab that over there. And direction 2 being this and this. Does not seem to like that. It's probably because there's somewhat of a misalignment in my curve over there. Let me go check it. Maybe just redo this guy. Delete. Oh, probably also because I didn't have it for construction. Let's see if it's okay with some tangency here. Let's see. Nope, does not like that. Alright, we'll try that boundary again. Boundary surface. Bottom contour, top contour. Direction 2 would be from here. No, not that. Be here. Perfect. Look at that. I could do another field surface. Better way would be to do an extrusion, honestly. But this is totally fine for our purposes again. And on top of this plane, we will add that circle sketch. Exit sketch, and we could do an extrude surface. Again, that sketch was on the wrong plane. Let's fix that. Do that extrude again. See what that looks like on the side view. We could definitely go a bit higher. All right. Yep, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to do a trim where I remove this surface, and looks like everything else can stay. And we want to knit these surfaces together so that we can do things like fillets down the line. Merge entities. Sort of seems like some of these surfaces were not trimmed. So let's see if we can edit this feature and trim that face. Yeah, that looks better. One thing we could do is do a section view if you want to get closer on the inside. Have a clean look. Yep. Seemed like we forgot to trim some of these edges and now we have it cleaned up. That looks good. Remove the section view. We could do knit once again. Perfect. So now mostly what we have left is just some thickening, maybe some fillets, and the threads. But before we do that, what we can actually do is do some fillets here. All right, from here, we could probably do a thicken of this whole surface, this knit surface. Just 1 millimeter should be fine. It says face with the fail check. All right, this is a good learning opportunity. So we'll see how to troubleshoot this. So upon troubleshooting, it seems like one of the issues might be that These faces, not too clean. Doing the swept face around this sort of irregular profile was not too good. So what I can do is come back here and redo how I implement this exactly. So on this surface, let's say it might be a better idea to do a sketch based on an offset here, reverse maybe like 3 millimeters, and then do a split line on this face so that we can just delete this face now. Just delete, no patch. And we can also delete this face. Just delete, no patch. And we can do a boundary surface that has hopefully a better, we'll look at zebra stripes. Hopefully not too bad of definition there. So yeah, it does seem like most things are fixed, but just to show how I troubleshooted things, let's say I'll just save this as bottle 3. If I were to go back and sort of undo some of the things that I did, just going all the way back here. Yeah, so I could go back to, so this was our original problematic setup. If I go to offset surfaces or offset surface and try to offset it, right? So we're not thickening it, but it's essentially doing this same kind of operation except offset surface. Actually does analysis on which parts might be problematic. So I suspected that it was mainly these bottom parts. I'll save. So I'll go back to bottle 2, which is the one that I fixed up. Right. So all I did now is do the knit once again, and we can thicken just to show that, because I wasn't able to show that before. We can do thicken, select this whole thing. Let's do just one on the inner side. Okay, now that we have the thickened part, we can add our, oh sorry, we could also just, I undid some of the fillets, I'll just add that back. Doesn't like to do that edge apparently. All right, cool. Now for the top spiral, I would go on this top plane. And then we can add a circle here. Exit sketch and do a, what is it called? Like a helix in the opposite direction of a smaller pitch. Maybe another revolution. Yeah. So the start angle is 0. So it's actually normal to one of the faces. And on the right plane, I can sort of draw what that thread might look like, just on the side profile. And for here, I'm fine doing a regular old sweep. Cool. Here's essentially just our finished product. Now, if I really wanted to make it look like the real thing, what I can do is go into appearances here, right? And then in the plastic section, there is clear plastic, frosted plastic. I could apply it to this whole body, and there you go. How nice is that? All right, hope you were able to follow along. Thank you.